everybody. Big hugs and love from my end of the world. This is Raelene, Byrne, Medicine for Your Spirit. Boy, are we in for a big month. Oh my goodness, it's already started. We've got the full moon at the start of this month, which we've just had. We've got a full moon at the end of the month. So we've got these bookends. And there's a lot of watery energy around this month with the sign of Leo, which is fire. There's air, fire, water. A lot of emotional purging, a lot of stuff coming up for people to really finally make peace with or finally let go of. So I would just advise people, there's a couple of things I've been telling people in my world, and that is practice kindness, practice patience, and practice mindfulness this month. And if that's really hard, practice silence. Just really pull your energy in. So this morning I went for a walk on my beach and I was having a conversation with someone around being selfish. Not accusation, it was just a conversation. And it was really interesting because there's so much judgment around the inverted commas, the term of selfish, being selfish, acting selfishly. So when I sat and thought about it afterwards, I'm really in this place of, is it selfish to honour ourselves? Is it selfish to think for yourself and do what feels right for you? Is it selfish to follow through with actions that are meaningful for you? It doesn't mean that we're pushing things away, and it doesn't mean that we are excluding things, and it doesn't mean that we don't care. But right now, we've got to start looking at how we honour ourselves. We're going through a lot of growth at the moment, a lot of transformation and a lot of healing. So we need to start taking the word selfish out of our vocabulary and start looking at how we're honouring ourselves and how other people are honouring themselves and what it's like to choose to think for yourself. You know, in the recent times we've had when people have been thinking for themselves, one of the accusations that would be made was, well, you're being selfish. If you don't do that, you're being selfish. And really, I'm choosing something for myself. I'm not being selfish. I'm doing what feels right for me. So I just want to throw that out there for you to have a think about and look at what's going on with other people in your life that you might think are being selfish in their day-to-day activities, and look at if you're judging it from your lens, because we don't often know what others are going through that create the actions and the choices and the decisions they make. So my thing this month for everyone is what I just said. Take care of yourselves. Be kind, be gentle, be mindful. And if you can't be that, if it's too hard, be silent. And honour yourself and really focus in on what you're needing, where you're putting your energy this month with all the big changes and all the big disruptions and all the big chaos that's coming in and around this month. Don't be seduced into the chaos. Allow the chaos to be itself and bring your energy back into where you're at, what you're working on for yourself, where you need to be, what choices and decisions you need to make, and how to elevate your own energy. So that's maybe a little bit of medicine for your spirit for this month. Now I have a caller from California. Sorry if I've got the name wrong. Is it Lauren? Lauren.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How can I help? Be of assistance, guidance, support? What do you need?
So my best friend passed. I just found out a week ago, and I'm just having a really hard time with his passing.
So what are you asking me?
I'd like to know how exactly he passed and if he has any messages for me. Let's start there.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest, and I've said this once before in a call, I don't do mediumship stuff. I believe very strongly that there are people out there who do mediumship and talk to, connect with those on the other side. I come from a place where I believe that we are connected to everything and everyone. either in this physical realm or in the energetic realms. And I believe that we can connect with these loved ones that pass, that are on the other side, our ancestors, when we stop and go into ourselves. When we are giving ourselves time and space to breathe, be in our heart, come into that place that is connected to all things, and talk from there. I really would love some reassurance from my loved one who's passed. Is there any way that that energy can come through, or that information can come through? You can ask them to show up in some way, give you a sign. You can, and I often say this to people, and I've seen it with people who I know who have got loved ones who have passed. They set up a date and a time, and they put it out into the ethers and say, look, I'm going to be having at my table on this day at this time, and I'd love you to come and sit with me, or come and share that space with me. Because everything is energy. The physical form isn't here, but the energetic part of them is. And if they've had an imprint or a connection with you in this life, there is still a connection there. And you can tap into that. So, there are lots of ways of doing it. As I said, sitting there and calling it in, meditating, asking for a sign, setting up a date, a time and a date. There are different ways. As I said, I don't call in the mediumship stuff. I know sometimes when I work with people one-on-one, it does come in, but I don't profess to do that, because I believe that we can connect from our own heart and soul. They're always there. They're always there. And I think the thing that turned everything around for me, and I hope this helps you, is I've done a lot of work with Indigenous cultures, and I've studied a lot of traditional old world healing stuff. And one of the common themes in that all those lineages is simply, the first thing is everything we need to know we already have, which is what I write about and teach. And the second one is that the universe lives within us, each of us. And if that's true, I believe it is, then we have access to everything in the universe, because it's all energy. So when we get out of our mental head around that physical boundary and that physical tangible thing, when we stop and go, it's only physical because it's so dense. Now, if I want to elevate and connect to something that's not in this physical dense realm, then I need to be in that energetic connection within myself, and I can be there. You can call it forward, and you can have these beautiful conversations within yourself when you're in a space where you're not in your head, but you're in your heart. So I would suggest finding some time in your day or week to sit down and call that the presence, the energy, the essence, the spirit of that loved one to commune with you in your own heart.
Okay.
And then you can ask your own questions.
Thank you. I have another question.
Sure.
This year has been, I feel like, the hardest year for me. Like, I feel like I'm being tested. And I just want to know if it's going to get better.
Okay. Interesting. I've just pulled a card as you're talking, and it's all about higher knowledge. Look at this, higher knowledge. So 2023 is still doing a year of connecting to our own inner world. It's a soul year. It's a year where we've got to get to know ourselves. And so this year we have been tested a lot. Loads and loads and loads of things that are no longer for us are being shown to us for us to choose. Yes, that stays in my life, or no, that's not for me anymore. We're being given a lot of opportunities to elevate, and expand ourselves. And this year especially is about being very, very connected, even deeper to ourselves. We've got to develop resourcefulness and resilience. And the big lessons when we're being tested, or the teachings when we're being tested, when there's hardship, when there's challenges, we are preparing ourselves. We are being given opportunities to develop resourcefulness and resilience. There's a lot more cuckoo, is the best way I can put it. It's going to start happening, because the reality is, Lauren, the world as we knew it is falling apart. And we have to create a new way forward for ourselves. And we cannot bring through parts of ourselves or behaviors or attachments to things that are no longer relevant. So it is going to get better, but the way it gets better is when we start connecting to ourselves and going, okay, and I just talked about this at the start of the show, what are the right choices I need to make for me? Where am I giving my energy? Where's my energy going? And what energy is coming in? Energy input, energy output has to be addressed. Taking time to really examine, reflect, and consider the things going on in your life, where you want to be, how do you want to feel when you are living a life that you want to live? How do you want to feel? Okay, I want to feel free, or I want to feel supported, or I want to feel secure, or I want to feel joyful. All right, if they're the feelings I want in the next 6 months or 3 months or 12 months, what can I do now in my everyday life that gives me a tiny little dose of that feeling so I can start cultivating more and have a reference point? We have to look at ourselves as a point of attraction. That the emotional self, our emotions are a point of attraction. If I'm feeling like, excuse me for saying this, if I feel like crap with myself, I'm only going to get crap things happen. If I start to feel better about myself, lighter, elevating my energy, making good choices, everything else starts to work with me. Everything else starts to elevate. Things don't seem to be as hard. If I'm in a really low density energy, I'm going to attract more of those things that are hard. If I'm opening up and lighter and more joyful and have more gratitude, things are going to be easier and life will flow better. So it is about mindfulness. It is about presence. And the 4 words that I gave at the start of when I started doing this show for this year for everyone is pause, reflect, connect, and then act. Whatever comes up, pause, reflect, connect, and then take action. And you might have to take different actions than what you've done before to get different results. I hope that's helpful.
Right. Yes, it is. Things
are improving. Things will improve. So thank you for calling. Lovely to chat. This is Raelene Byrne, Medicine for Your Spirit. It's been beautiful to chat with you all. Please take care in the rest of this month. Do the things that are medicine for your spirit. Bye for now.